if it's all right, I just want to start right at the beginning of your career, and what a career it's been, might I add. And so right at the beginning with
Thank
Rochdale,
you.
and then being signed by Harry Redknapp's West Ham United for 250k, rising to 1.75 mil. How was that like for a 16-year-old?
It was okay, to be honest. I was always determined to be a goalie and to be the best, and that was. I was lucky that I was around the under-21s and the 16s of England and the 18s and all the Northwest development squads. So I knew the kind of players that were at West Ham anyway, like the Michael Carricks and the Rio Ferdinand, who was a bit older than me, Frank Lampard. So it was okay. I didn't mind moving, because when you're young and you're playing football and you're going nationally and then you're going internationally with like you're under 15s and under 16s, it was okay. It was quite comfortable, really, and it wasn't really a shock like I'd been in a bubble at Rochdale, and only at Rochdale. I believe if you was only at Rochdale, you'd be like, oh wow, the world's opened up. But I was quite comfortable. I was quite. I'm self-motivated and mentally strong, so I just wanted to be the best I could be. And if I had to go to, Iceland and play there, and or whatever, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to challenge myself.
Yeah. That's interesting. So when you went there, you actually knew quite a lot of the lads who were in you're going to be in your age group at West Ham because of England duty, I take it then.
Yeah, so like Michael Carrick and Joe Cole and Izzy Rickpen and all the the youngsters there. You kind of went with that, because I was at Rochdale. There was players from Scunthorpe that were playing in the England team, and the Gary McSheffrey and and like the Joe Coles and the Michael Carrick. So excuse me, it wasn't like I was meeting anyone different. Plus, they actually told me to go for a trial for a week before I actually signed there, to see whether I liked it, to see whether they liked me. And so it's like I went for the week. I loved it. They wanted to sign me, and Rochdale needed the money, so it was worked out perfectly. Rochdale had invested the time in me growing up. They got rewarded by getting financial gains, and I got to be able to challenge myself with better players.
Yeah.
Amazing. Did you always know then from a young age you wanted to be a keeper? Because I know a lot of people, I think it was like Tommy Lee, who started his sort of career out playing outfield and then sort of went in the net and sort of found he was better at being a goalkeeper. Have you always wanted to be a goalkeeper then?
No, I wanted to be a centre-half, to be honest. I like playing centre-half, and I like tackling. I like the physicality of the game. But, I wasn't lightning quick. I wasn't great, good on the ball compared to outfield players. There's a totally different, there's a different level. There's the odd few nowadays, like the Fabian Barthez and the Edisons and that's the new caliber coming through, the Fabian Barthezes, and then it's the Edisons. But back then, I wasn't to the level of the England lot, so I knew I wasn't going to be an outfield player. I was realistic. I'm realistic. If you're not good enough, you just hold your hands up and say, you know what, I'm not good enough. So I went in goal, and I could naturally catch balls, and that's it. I could just catch balls, and I like diving about. Like I said, I like the physicality. I like getting stuck in. Yeah. I wasn't much for rugby, but I liked it because you can get stuck in.
Yeah, such an important position as well, isn't it? Because Nick's right. You don't tend to hear about players sort of wanting to be a goalkeeper, but I think that is changing now. I think goalkeeping is seen as such an important position. I mean, you only have to look at this week just gone by. Look at Alisson, who's widely regarded as probably the best in the world, has a couple of mistakes, and now he's terrible all of a sudden. So it's so important. The pressure, especially at that level, so high that you've got it. It's a really important position. You've got to be on top of your game.
Yeah, I think it's a very. Do you know what I believe? I don't know whether you can describe it like this, but I think goalkeeping's become more sexier. It's more. Yeah, I'm part of an outfield playing group. Yeah. And everyone wants to be a part of an outfield team. So people are more, well, I'm not good enough for going outfield. Let me have a go in goal. Yeah. That's what I believe what's happening now. I think it's more sexy. I just used to remember playing football, and I was like under 13s, under 12s, thinking, God, if I had a girlfriend, she would not be interested in me because I'm stuck in goal. And that's the truth, In my school football, inter-house, I used to play outfield, and I used to be good at outfield compared to my other school peers. But on another level, I wasn't good enough, but I didn't mind going outfield for the school because, you know, girlfriends and that lot would watch me play. But in goal, it was like, it's not sexy. It's nothing. It's not part of a team. You're more of an individual. Now, it's become you're part of a team because you start the play. Gone are the days where you just bang, bang, bang. It's more like keeper sets the play off. Can the keeper find the central midfielder to start the play? Yeah, so it's evolved. So that's what I believe. It's more popular because you get highlighted more to be as part of a team.
Yeah, I think that started with
you then. So you said, Luke, that started with you, did it, Steve? Sexy goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper, yeah.
Sexy goalkeeper. I'm going to say, like Manuel Neuer, I'd say, was probably the first that you used to see when he first started to play for Germany, and you'd see that coming out from the back. It was really from then. And then, like, overnight that summer, every Premier League manager was like, right, we're playing out from the back like Neuer was at the World Cup. It just seemed like 2014, was it, or something, when they won World Cup?
Yeah.
Just like from then onwards, since then, you can't think of a top team that's not had a sweeper keeper.
Which, the funny thing is, right, when I was at Derby County, right, I was signed, and Nigel Clough came in, and he said to Robbie Savage, who was part of the team, he said, we're looking at a goalie. I know your mate's Bywater, but we're looking for a goalie. And we've seen one. His name's Neuer. We've tried to get him.
Wow.
I know, yeah. It's like, he ain't coming to Derby, is it? Bayern Munich playing, do you know what I mean? But people were already recognising what kind of goalkeeper was the future.
Yeah.
And that was the person who could play out, read the game like a centre half. And do you know what? Nowadays, you're more grouped in with the defenders as a unit. So if you're doing a 4 at the back, you're more of a 5 at the back now, and you all you train together really. Yeah. So it's evolved. And back when I was growing up, it was definitely a separate thing. But you know, I would have been determined to be better as an outfield player if that was the situation then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you was part of a cracking West Ham youth team. I know we've already mentioned a couple of the players like Carrick, Defoe, Cole and whatnot. So in 1999, you won the FA Youth Cup. What was that like, being part of that squad and obviously winning the trophy?
Do you know what? It was really good because back then your dream is to win the FA Youth Cup. I know it's not highlighted like big time around the FA Cup or a Premier League game, but as a 17, 18-year-old, because we won the Under-19s Cup as well. There's an Under-19s Cup, and with the same team won the 19s Cup as well. But the FA Youth Cup was massive. It was massive for us, and we just felt unbeatable. Like we just couldn't be beat. We were just invincible, really, because we had everything. We had pace, we had characters, we had a team bond as well, because we all used to go out at weekends and socialise together. And you know what? That's what's missing. That's what's the real shame about today, the under-18s. They can't really go out and mingle, and that's, you know, it's hard. It's hard for them now. And when you look back, you feel how lucky you were to be able to literally go to the pictures, or go to Nando's, or go to Pizza Express, or go out on a Saturday night together just to be together. And we had that bond, and it was good, because when you're living in London and you got Michael Carrick from Newcastle, and you got other players from around the world, around the world, because we had Australians in the team. You had to mix because they were your mates.
Yeah.
Whereas a local team like a York, who were good in that FA Youth Cup, they were all local lads, and maybe they had their friends where they could go out. So, you know what I mean? They socialised differently, and that makes a difference. We were a unit put together. I was from Manchester. You know, people from all over the place, all over the world. So we had a good bond, and that it means a lot to have a good bond in a group, and we just kept winning, and it meant everything to us, because we were West Ham, and at West Ham, if you did well as a youngster, you were playing in the first team.
Yeah, as it should. I mean, the players in that team, we're talking about in 3 cases, in Carrick, Defoe, and Cole.
Yeah, Richard Garcia had a good career as well. Richard Garcia he did okay. He went to Hull and that. Like, he was Michael Carrick's best friend. So Richard Garcia, he did well. So yeah, Adam Newton went on to Peterborough and stuff, and yeah, it was good. But like you say, they were 3 freaks really, who were like proper good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the careers they've had, ludicrous.
Yeah, to
come from the same youth team.
Yeah, and the longevity they had, because they were all fit, they were all dedicated, they're all passionate. and they all just had that X factor in them.
Yeah. Was it something you were aware of, Stephen, being at West Ham? Because they do sort of have an ethos, don't they, of bringing young players through. It's sort of like what the clubs pride themselves on, really. Was that something that you were all as young kids very aware of? Look, we will get a chance here. We're at the right place, do well, and yeah, we've got a great chance at breaking through.
Yeah, because the manager Harry Redknapp, he wanted to bring in the youth, and we looked up to the generation of Rio Ferdinand, who was a few years older, Frank Lampard. They were playing in the first team.
Yeah.
So you aspired to be like them, and in the changing room, they were all in the same changing room, which was great. You could see the camaraderie and the banter, and you could see how they operated. And we all thought, if they can be in the first team, so can we. Yeah. And that was it. It was good. I think it's more kind of separate now with academies and first team. So I think it's difficult because we was in the change rooms day in, day out, having the crack, having the banter, mixing in. It was amazing. So I was very lucky.
Yeah. Who would have been the keeper at West Ham? Was it Hislop? Shaka Hislop?
So there was Shaka Hislop. Then there was Craig Forrest. Bernard Lamar was there, French goalkeeper who won the won the World Cup.
Yeah.
Then we had like Ludek McCloskey was there at the same time, just retiring. Yeah. So we had a good bunch. And Les Seeley was the goalkeeper coach, but was also registered as a player. Yeah, I had some good goalkeepers to bounce off and work with.
Awesome.
So we actually had a question come in from Josh's father-in-law, who's a massive West Ham fan, and he said that you made your West Ham debut in a 5-4 victory over Bradford City. Many West Ham fans think that's the best match ever in their lifetime. What was that like to play in?
It was surreal. I get asked a lot, what was it like? Because we won, and it was in dramatic style. We were down. Yeah. People were wanting to. Paolo Canio wanted to come off the pitch. They were wrestling for the ball for a penalty. People were trying to shoot from the halfway line against me. It was just surreal. Yeah, it was. To be honest, we scored a goal and to make it 4-4, and Stuart McCall literally kicked from the kickoff because I was watching the replay on the screen of the goal, and I was stood there, and it missed the post by about half an inch. I'm not even joking, right? If you can get the live match or whatever, the full match, you'll see him. And I just casually went, wide, got the ball and carried on. But it had everything, and it was surreal. It was like I was substitute. I'd just finished my warm-up. I'd gone and got a shower to get ready to sit on the bench all nice and fresh rather than all grotty and sticky, with all sand and everything on me. And literally walked out and Shaka broke his ankle, and I got on the pitch, and it was like I was watching BBC. I was watching what's it called with Gary Lineker? Match of the Day.
Match of the Day, yeah.
It was like I was watching Match of the Day, but I was playing in it.
Yeah.
I had all the supporters everywhere. It was just surreal, but I loved it.
Yeah. Well,
and you know what? The lads looked after me as well on the pitch. The lads looked so good on the pitch.
Oh, that's good. But yeah. Not many better games to make your debut in.
I know, it was good. It was just thankfully we won. Trevor Sinclair at the end said, "Stephen, we won. It's a great match. Well done, you." And I was like, "Yeah, we won. I'm getting a bonus. I got about a grand bonus for that." And at that time, I was buzzing.
What's it like then with all the fans? I imagine they were going crackers when it's a 9-goal game. What were the fans like?
You know what? The fans are brilliant, but it was like I was absorbed into everything. It was like I could hear the fans. It was brilliant. They were just wanting you to do well. If you're a young goalkeeper or even any young player at West Ham, they just want you to do well. And all you've got to do, literally, is give it your all. Never give up. Try for everything. Don't be tired. Don't be, just give everything, and they'll back you all day long. It's the players that I've seen that have come that have not really been all in. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be all in as a West Ham player, literally all in. It's do or die as a Hammer, and that's it. And I like that because that's what I was like with every club. I wanted to do everything I could to help everyone.
Yeah, it's great to hear that because us three are football fans, and there's nothing more frustrating than a player doing what you dream to do, and you don't care, mate. You can't be asked. You look like you can't be bothered to be there. Just run.
Just run. I think the game's changing though. Everyone sees themselves as more important than the actual club. And I believe that never should be the case. No one's bigger than a club, and doesn't matter how much they're earning. It doesn't matter how they see themselves. I believe if you're a player, you sign a contract, you give your everything, no matter what, for the team. And these people now are they're too protective of their own brand. They think they're a brand, and that's not fair. That's not right. You sign for a club, and you're part of that club, not a player who thinks it's all about them. But this is what the people are doing, and it's not right. But it's a business, and it's not a passion for some people. Yeah. It's a way of just getting a lifestyle that. Do you know what though? Those people don't last long. They last 3-4 years in a game, and then they go, "Oh, where are they at? What are they doing?" Well, they just didn't care enough, and that's the only reason. Because the talent's there, they just don't care, and that's a shame.
Yeah. 100%.
Just thinking back to what you said there about the atmosphere. What I'm just wondering from a West Ham perspective now. Yeah. What do you make of the new stadium? Because I loved Upton Park on my visits with Burnley. Great ground. I just wonder how do you think you felt making your debut at the Olympic Stadium?
I've never been to the Olympic Stadium.
Oh, right.
I've never been. I've just been playing, so I've not been to the games. But I've spoke to people who were there, and they said that it's just not the same. It's not as intimate because you're so far away from the pitch. They've been saying.
Yeah.
They're saying that even the parking's like there's no parking or anything. And I thought for me, when you're a West Ham player and you're driving up to the ground, and you're seeing all the people in the fish and chip shops, the shops and the pubs and the bars, you're then on your journey in. You are actually. This is where your game starts.
Yeah.
Because you see the away supporters, you see the home supporters. This is us. This is West Ham versus whoever we're playing. And I like that. It's very intimate. So if it's not the same, I don't know. It's like you say, it's more of a business and that's what it is. But yeah, I love West Ham. It was really intimate. If you didn't do well and I didn't mind being told I didn't do well or I could do better. I wanted these people to motivate me because I'm on the same page as them.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind coming out of a car park and getting people banging on my windows going, "Come on, Bywater, we can win next week." Or, I didn't mind. I was like, "Yeah, let's go." Yeah. So, it must be different now. I don't know what. I know that I played at the Highbury with Arsenal with West Ham.
Yeah.
And I've also played at the new stadium, and the atmosphere was different there. And that's the only comparison I can do. Highbury was intimate, and it was good. It was like a buzz. The fans were actually. Were like lower as well, a little bit lower, and it's like they're all looking at you and from every direction, from beneath you, from above you, from on top of you, because it was so close.
Yeah.
Whereas the Emirates now it's kind of a wider. So West Ham was more you part of it.
So close, wasn't it? Like
it was brilliant, wasn't it? It was brilliant. And like you said,
I've only been a couple of times in away end, obviously, but both times I were behind Rob Green. And literally, I was like on the second row or whatever, and Rob Green's like there. It felt like I remember the first time we went, we got battered 5-3 by West Ham, but it was just weird because Rob Green was getting dogs abuse all game from Burnley fans because that's what we're like. But he was having great banter with us because he was literally like as close as that wall is from my head, and I loved that. And at the end of the game, he would turn around, he was like thumbs up, and
it's interaction, isn't it? That's what people want.
Yeah,
that's what people
absolutely.
want. That's why you go to football to have that interaction, to have that connection with the players, with everyone, the ground staff, the security, the stewards. It's all part of the experience, and I love it. But you can't do it right now.
No, it's certainly a part of the game. Even with that, sort of COVID and stuff that's dying out, isn't it? It seems fans are being moved further and further away from, or probably players moved away from reality. Actually, but
they're protected, and the systems are you're in and you're out. You're in and you're out. There's no like you can't mingle, you can't walk around the ground, or it's very sectioned off and limited. I when I finished playing, I had a season ticket for Liverpool, and I used to take my boy, and I used to love it. But it was like you're in your seat, you watch the game, you're out. It was all like couldn't really get to the players. I was like, go on then, get down there, because I know like Hayden Mullins at Watford and stuff. So I went down to say hello, but he couldn't really come over really because he wasn't able to. But
it is a shame.
But we love the game, don't we? We just want him to play. But
So you worked under some incredible managers while at West Ham with Harry Redknapp, Glenn Roeder, Alan Pardew. Who did you feel like you learnt the most from?
Harry Redknapp looked after me, so I learned managing skills off him. You know, I wasn't really involved with him. Well, it was daily basis, but not in his team consistently. So I was just around him. He was more like a father figure. You know, he'd say, get on the bus. When I was younger, he'd make me go and train before games with the first team, which is like an experience which is brilliant because you got in the changing rooms, you do the shooting before the game. So he really mixed me into men's football when I was 16. So that was really good. So, you know, you treat people right. And that's what I learned from him. You do things right and you treat people like you like to be treated. And if you can help someone get advantage, get experience, then do it. Glenn Roeder, for me, wasn't strong enough as a manager. He wasn't strong at all for a manager. He would definitely treat people differently. But as a coach, top coach. Never manager material for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but that's my honest opinion. He was a nice guy. Honestly, the coach, really nice, really good coach, like detail. But could he manage characters? No.
Yeah, big difference.
There's a big difference. You got to be the boss. Yeah. So when he came in, you know, he was saying you're all on a clean slate. Yeah, which is fair enough. Yeah, he treat people differently, so you weren't on a clean slate. So
yeah,
it's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know,
straight away.
Alan Pardew, honestly, brilliant. I liked him. He had an aura about him. He was a bit of he had a strut on him.
And a dance.
Yeah, we used to call him Choco because if he was chocolate, you'd eat yourself.
I can believe that.
Yeah, but then he went to fondant because fondant's on another level with chocolate. If you went to Tenerife, he went to 11 Reef.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm telling you, he's probably one of the best coaches I've seen.
Yeah,
he would literally spend his time as a you know, off the pitch. He was, oh, look at me, I'm looking good, yeah, which is fair enough. But on the pitch, he was a proper coach with the individually and collectively as a group. So he would be able to coach the whole team like amazing and link everyone in. Then after training, he'd take like Glenn Johnson to the side and coach him one-on-one.
Yeah.
So you know what? You don't mind them characters because you think, you know what? You're a grafter. You put your heart and soul into teaching people how to be better and a coach.
Yeah.
But as a man, you used to think, yeah, you're having yourself. But no, there's nothing bad about that. I'm just saying it's what people. Nothing bad about that. It's just the way he was, and I'm being honest.
I love characters like that. Anyway, like
I think you should have a bit about you. Yeah,
Alan
back
Pardew's
yourself.
entertained me so much over the years when he's like, well, it was like Hull player he started nailing to the side. Like, was it David Myler?
He headbutted David Myler, didn't he?
And then he's a character. I love that. Oh, was that Nigel Pearson I'm thinking of as well?
Pearson held someone down, but Pardew had a bit of a...
That were it.
I'm going to say Pearson got on top of him, didn't he? Like, pinned him down with hand up.
Yeah, I love it.
I think part of it might be a bit of an act as well. You know, if they build this around him, then I think it's easier to deflect away from like a defeat or something. I think a lot of managers do it. I think Mourinho builds up some kind of act. I think Klopp's doing it at the minute. For when the team's going through a bad spell, they can deflect. They can go into put everything on me. I'll take up pressure. Let's let players play. I think they might.
No, do you know what? I probably disagree with that because Pardew would take the blame. He wouldn't do it. He'd be honest. He'd be straight up. He's one of them. You know when you say you have a bit about you. Yeah. Well, he was able to say, do you know what? It is me, and I am the manager, and it is my fault, and it is. I know what you're saying, but I don't think Pardew for me was that kind of the manager. But maybe Mourinho is. I don't know Mourinho, and I don't know Klopp. But for me, Pardew was like, he was all right. He was straight up. He was straight up. I thought he was all right.
Yeah.
So moving on now to your time with Derby County, and you had an emergency loan there for a couple of weeks in 2006 before signing permanently.
Yeah.
You wore the number 43 shirt in memory of your mentor goalkeeper coach, Les Seeley, who sadly passed away. But how did it come about picking that number? And did you, knowing when you wanted to move, did you always want to sort of wear that shirt number?
Yeah, they said to me, what shirt number do you want? And I just said I like 43 because I was moving on from West Ham, which he was like a big influence on my career at West Ham, and he was the one that wanted to sign me because I was he was the main goalkeeper coach with Harry Redknapp, and he said, "We're signing this goalie. He's a very good goalie." Yeah. So when he took to, he spent years on me, looking after me like a son. And when they said, "What number do you want?" Because one's gone, and there was Lee Camp there and Lee Grant there, and I said, "I'll have number 43 just because he shouldn't have died at 43. God took him away. It's too soon." And that was it. And I'm the most loyal person ever.
Yeah.
And I remember how I got to where I was. And that was it. And they were okay with it. And at that time, people doing mad numbers and stuff. And I just thought I wanted 43.
Yeah. So don't get Josh started on numbers.
No, I am a stickler for my shirt numbers. I like my goalies to wear either 1 or 13. But when there's a story like that behind it,
do you know what? I didn't mind 13 because my mum was born on Friday the 13th. So all that superstition, I didn't care.
Yeah.
So I don't mind 13.
No.
And then I got to a stage where the manager wanted me to be the number 1. So I would wear number 1 because the manager said, "I want you to wear number 1." So I understand there, but goalkeepers 1. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I just, at that period in my life, I wanted to represent, because 1 wasn't available, 13 wasn't available. I wanted to represent something that means a lot to me. It still means a lot to me now.
Yeah, I think it's great. We had a player at Burnley who did similar, Scott Arfield. He'd have annoyed you, Josh. He was a left winger, but he had number 37. I think it was his best mate had died, and that was his age. And I think it's brilliant. It's what I'd do if I were a footballer. You'd look for something that means something to you personally.
Yeah, it's something you're on the pitch and you feel like you're with that person, and you're bonded, and that's it.
If there's a story behind it, I'm all right. It's just, I know, is it the Wolves goalkeeper? I know they've retired number 1, but he still wears number 11, and a goalkeeper wearing number 11.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Can he not have to? Yeah. Some goalies are funny. They want 1 and they want this.
I think that's it. I think that's probably what it is. He only wants to have the number 1 on his back, but
he's got 2 of them now, hasn't
he? He's got 2. Yeah.
He better be twice the goalie.
So I'm a massive Derby County fan anyway, Stephen. And one thing that I've always wanted to know was in sort of 2007, 2008 year, the Premier League season, obviously the disappointment of Derby being relegated. What did you feel like? What went wrong in that season? Was it
the Premier League?
Yeah, in the Premier League season. Was it the managers, or was it just like the dressing room atmosphere? What did you think that went wrong in that year?
We just weren't good enough. We went up too soon, and literally you're chasing pigeons. It's hard. It's hard. The talent that you're up against compared to what you've got now. In the summer before that, if you're a player not at Derby County and you're in the Premier League, because Derby County, when you go up, you need actually Premier League players to come and help you out, don't you? You need to buy those players. Now, this is what I think. I think you go up too soon. Players who think they're a product themselves look at Derby County and go, well, they've just scraped up through the playoffs. They've scraped it all year, but done well and got. Why would I, as a Premier League player, go to that club? Because they're going to suffer, and that brings my point to people think of themselves first rather than that club there could do with my help.
Yeah,
and we just couldn't attract the players to keep us up, and the whoever your managers are, no matter what money you had to spend, no one was coming. The troops weren't coming to come and help because we'd only just scraped up. And people think, well, if I go to that club and they go down or they're suffering, then my profile as a Premier League player now will not be a Premier League player anymore. And I will be kind of like the same. I'll be the same kind of like player as them, and I'm not doing that. So what players do? They'll see what they're doing in the summer, then they'll assess how the teams are making, how they're progressing in the first window. And then if they're doing all right by Christmas, they'll jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's the business, though. That's business.
Saying, first time we went up under Dyche, we couldn't attract anyone, and we got the sum total of our summer business was signing Lucas Djukovic and Marvin Sordell, and we went straight back down. Probably the same thing. You just struggle, and then you come back the next time. You've got a bit more money behind you. Suddenly, it's like, all right, okay. You get Joey Barton, and you know.
Yeah, because what happens is you go down, those players in the Premier League who have seen you in the Premier League think, do you know what? That club's going to come up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to go to that club, get them up, and then I'll be back in the Premier League.
Yeah, you're more exciting proposition, aren't you? Then you're sort of a bigger fish again, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you get into a club like the Championship and you get them back up, you're a big fish. But we just didn't have that yo-yo effect. We went up, and we were so bad down, no one had come anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Anyway, I just think it's people not wanting to come to Derby County, but those people, they miss out, in my opinion, because they're not involved in Derby County. And if you want to be involved in a big club with passionate fans and that's a homely club but a real good club, give it a go. Have a go. It's Derby County.
Yeah.
You can move on from Derby County.
Yeah.
You can, because it's a big club.
Yeah.
What was Billy Davies like, Steve? Because I've always thought he came across like a really good manager to me. And I don't know what's happened to him. He's just kind of fallen off the radar.
Yeah, he's a man. He's a really good manager, but he just doesn't get on with the press, I don't think, does he?
Maybe not. I'm not sure.
He's not a yes man. He's not a yes man.
No.
And he's not going to. Yeah, if he's a yes, he's not going to take flack off the board, and he's going to tell them he wants money. He's going to pick the team he wants to pick.
Yeah.
And he's very much. He's not a yes man.
Yeah. I think he went to Forest, didn't he, Nick? Billy Davies.
Did very well with Forest, I think, as well. Because obviously, when he got us promoted, he played some unreal football with him. And then, obviously, when you see him go to Forest, you think, oh, God, he's just going to bring the same thing. And I think at that time, Forest were just better than Derby.
Yeah.
He did a great job at Preston.
And then I think, didn't he fall out with the owners or something? Something with the owners. What he disagreed with the owners or something? Or there was a takeover at Forest at the time, and I don't know. Something that's what I heard anyway.
I think that's why. I know he quit Preston to go to Derby because he'd fallen out with the board at Preston. So it sounds like it's maybe a common thing, but obviously, he took Preston to play a final, and then your West Ham team beat him there, of course.
Yeah, but what you don't know, Billy Davies travels the world learning football.
Yeah.
He travels the world. He's in all the big clubs. He goes learning in all the big clubs, like the big clubs in Italy, in Spain, in Germany. He's proper educated.
Yeah, it's amazing. You never get to see that as a fan. You just get to sort of see what the team does on a weekday. But yeah, you never really think about how much
the background he does to bring, and then he brings all that knowledge and all that experience of what other clubs are doing, what other teams have been doing, how their pre-seasons are done, what games, what formations, and all that, and he brings it all to the team he wants to manage. Yeah. But he was a clever man. He's very detailed, and he's a winner. He wants to win.
Yeah, it'd be great to see him back in English football really as soon as possible. I think it's missing a strong character, isn't it? Really, because he does seem like he's passionate about his job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this. I don't know. I think it's more like, in my opinion, the game's going. You're more of a coach. If you're a manager, you're more of a coach.
Yeah.
You've got to manage. You've got to be like head coach. You're head coach, and the people you don't see really run the incomings and outgoings, and that's basically you're a frontman nowadays as a football coach, but you never get the flack because it's always people behind the scenes that actually do the dealings, and I think that's hard. I think as a manager, you should be able to pick your players, buy your players, and then listen. If you lose, it's your fault.
Yeah. So directors of football and
yeah, but it's business, isn't it? It's more of a business. It's conforming all the rules, all the regulations, all how you behave, everything. It's more into line with the real world, if I'm being honest. And that's how I think it should be like that. It should be in the real world. It's not, you shouldn't be able to, I don't know, spend what you like. If you can't afford it, you shouldn't spend it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that keeps it real. That keeps it real to life. If you're spending money that you haven't got, it's not right, is it?
No. And I think that's with our clubs coping in this pandemic and stuff, that couldn't be more true as of right now, could it? The people need to spend within the limits.
Well, they're getting bailouts from the Premier League, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, the Premier League need the Championship and all the other clubs to actually survive, because they're all bringing youngsters through. And if their youngsters haven't got a platform or a position to play in these teams to get experience, the house of cards fall, don't they?
Yeah. We've spoke to a few guests, and as much as you can play your academy football and that, there's no replication for sort of league men's football.
No.
Play as many academy games as you want. You're not going to get that experience that you got beating Bradford 5-4 in part with those fans who care, unless you're doing it. No game's going to replicate that.
No, I just think it's like, it's competition, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can have a kickabout with your family or whatever, or your cousins or whatever at a do, but you go on your Sunday morning and you're playing against another team that you don't know. There's a different mentality in there. Yeah. You're not at a wedding kicking a ball with your family and it's all a bit, okay, just tip tap it.
Yeah.
You want to win, don't you, on Sunday with your mates? And that's the same with academy football. It's more. There's a different. Listen, it's good. I think academy football is good for technical ability.
Yeah.
But the competition and the aggression and the passion is totally different, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree.
And what's riding on it? We've had that many players who were saying, they're paying for the mortgage from the win bonus and everything like that.
I do also think that the academy like 18s, 23s, they're actually learning, right? So I've been doing some volunteering at Burton because I think it's good that I give back some time while the pandemic's going on. Like I was saying before, under 18s, I used to go out and that lot and be, but they can't do that. They can't go to the gym. Yeah. So when I'm there, I've actually learned over the last couple of months that it's more of an education rather than the competition. There's a balance. You can give guys competition but you need to educate them on how to play. So after a game, it's more like an open speech. Like the players will say what they feel about how the game's gone.
Yeah.
In men's football, in the competition, the first team football, it's your manager speaks. So there's a bit of a trade-off. So the competition is not the same, but the values are just the same because one's learning and one's trying to win. These are winning, but trying to learn as well. So, but it's different.
Yeah.
But still good, if you know what I mean. I'm just, after the game, all the under 18s have a say. Well, I think I could have done this, or what about this? Could we have done this? And I'm thinking, do you know what? That would never happen in a first team dressing room.
Yeah, no. You just get pinned up.
It would just be, the manager says, you should have done this, because the manager's in the highlight and he's the one that's in the spotlight and he's the one that people look to answers for why he didn't win. So it's all getting like real life. As a kid, you go to school, you learn. Then you go to work. Then it's the real world, not the learn. You know what I mean? It's literally parallel to that. And everyone will understand that. You go to school, you learn. You go to work, and it's a different kind of learning. It's real. Yeah. You make a mistake, and it costs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's a very good way of putting it.
So there's one thing that I especially want to know about. So when you're playing in like professional clubs with West Ham, with Derby County, what's it like battling for that number one shirt with the other keepers, the other professionals that are there? Is it like you're supporting each other, or is it quite a big rivalry to sort of get into that first team spot?
Some characters take it personally, and some characters are selfish. What the big players do, and you'll know by watching how they rotate, and they're not that, what the big players do, they know that football is a team sport. Yeah. And you have to back yourself. And you have to focus on yourself. So I was always focused on myself. I was always focused on myself, but aware of the team. Yeah. So that when I was called upon, I would be the best I could be for that team. So I would help other people because I would want their help from me. Mm-hmm. Now, there's players who are not interested in helping anyone else, and their head is down, and they focused on themselves, and it's all about them. Yeah. But come on a pitch day, and you need your mate to help you out. Is he going to be there if you're not one of them people as a team player? Yeah. No, they're not. No. So that's why all Liverpool, all the top players seem very relaxed, don't they, about not playing or being in a rotation, because they know they're going to play.
Yeah.
So that's what I just liked learning off other people, even if it was the goalie who was playing. I used to learn off him because it would help me, and that's the way I saw it. But other people, you could see they were bitter and twisted, and they say, "Oh, he had a bad game. He had a bad game," and I would think, do you know what? Focus on yourself, because if he does have a bad game, it's actually nothing to do with you, and it's the manager who will pick you to take his position. But if you focus your energy on somebody else, that's not doing you any favours. And I was always a believer in you look after yourself, and if you can help people out, you help people out. So if I was second choice or whatever, I'd want the keeper to do well, because I want the team to do well.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a part of a team that does well, you're doing well yourself. And we had that derby, league round, league camp. We all wanted each other to do well because we all benefited, because the team would do well, your profile would go up, and everyone was a winner. There was no downside to that. But that's
how it should be. But I've always, obviously wrongly, I guess, in your case, Stephen, but I'm sure it mustn't be the case for all keepers. I've always thought, because it's such a specialised position, and you're going to have maybe 3 at a club, more so than a midfielder or a centre back or a right back, left back, striker. You almost do need an error or an injury before you get your crack at the whip. So I've always thought it must be a really different viewpoint as a keeper, but perhaps not.
But you're right though. But in football, the keeper does get injured.
Yeah,
he does make a mistake, and you will get your chance.
Yeah.
You've got to be patient. You've got to be focused, and you've got to be just focused on doing the right thing in life. And the right thing in life is thinking of the team.
Yeah,
that's the right thing to do, and that's what I've been brought up. My dad was a big football fan. My uncle was a big football. They used to go to every game. They used to take me to every game, and that is the life of a footballer. And that is life of a footballer, as in football is a life. You have football in your life. I have football in my life, and you want your players to be a team player, and that's what I think, and that's how it should be. But people are selfish in this world, and people do think that they should be playing no matter what.
Yeah.
But they just end up losing out and not lasting long, because it's a team game. And managers look at characters. They go, should we sign that character? What's he like as a character? They'll ring the manager. What's he like? Well, he's a bit hard work if he's not playing. They'll go, I ain't buying him then. Boom, down.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think your mindset, if say you have been pestering manager for a chance as well, and first choice keeper does get injured, you're then going into that mindset of, right, this is my chance, I need to take it. Whereas you should be, right, I want to win this for team. Surely you're putting more pressure on yourself if you're building up your one chance that much. And you've got to then perform, haven't you? Whereas if you've sort of worked as a team player, obviously you've still got pressure on you, but you've still got the same goal that you would have when you're not playing. You want the team to win. You want the team.
Well, listen, as a player, there was nothing wrong with a player going to a manager going, why am I not playing?
Yeah.
What can I do to even have a chance of playing?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, the manager picks the team, and then you have to respect that and you have to get on with it. But, I've been in seeing managers and gone, Gaffer, is he your lucky charm? Am I going to play here or what? Is he your lucky charm? So I've been in that position where I've not been playing, and I'm basically asking, what can I do to even be involved? Because that's it. You want to play, but you want to know why you're not playing, and what can you do to, Billy Davies said, Stephen, you're a fat bastard. Get back, go do some running in the morning. So that's what I did. But I knew if I didn't do that, I wouldn't play.
Yeah.
So but I like competition, and I always enjoyed it. I learned a lot from everyone, and I think no matter what industry you're in, you can learn from the man who's next to you doing the same job.
Definitely. Best attitude to have.
100%.
So on a personal level then with Derby County, what's been your favourite ever moment in a Derby County shirt?
Obviously Wembley was really good, but I liked the whole year. The whole year for me was like one big ride, and it was amazing. And it was from literally, I spoke to my best mates when I signed there, and I was only there a couple of weeks, and I said, you know what, we're going to get promotion here. I had that feeling inside me that we've got a good group of lads. I knew what it took to go up in the league and to have a good bond, and we just had that. We had Pesca Slido. We had so much experience and talent. So I knew it, and it was all the season from going to Southend and winning to playing at home and winning and going away, and the journeys going to, Phil, who used to do the packages for your food to go away with on a bus journey. We wanted to win for her. She was part of the team. The Jeanette in the office, part of the team. Linda, Claire. There was everyone. And I just remember it being one amazing year. And there's not one thing that stands out. I could say Wembley, and it was brilliant, but it was the whole year. If I'm honest, that first year at Derby, and I loved it.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
I don't know. What was yours? What was yours of that season? Or what's yours? What's your big memory?
I'm gonna say it's got to be that goal, isn't it? From I think there were Giles Barnes, weren't it, in that team when
came on? Yeah.
I'm gonna say because he had an injury, and I think he had an injection so he could get through that game, didn't he? As well. And it's just that's the passion you want, because obviously he's desperate to play in that game, and then obviously he's putting ball in for Pearson, sliding in for goal. But then you feel like you're holding on, don't you, as well? So the pressure, at last 20 minutes, you're just thinking, fucking hell, come on.
but you know what? Throughout that season, we were good at holding on. We were good at nicking a 1-0. So we always felt confident. It's just a shame, Seth Johnson got injured as well, didn't he, in that game? Yeah. And he was a big influence on that team.
They're big favourites, West Brom, going into that game as well, I think.
Yeah, and Southampton, the team before, and we were the underdogs, and that's what I'm saying. When you're the underdogs and you go up, no one wants to go to you in the summer.
Yeah.
I suppose he's a forgotten player, isn't he, as well, Giles Barnes? I think he's playing out in America at the minute.
He does a few things in America. Yeah, he's a young lad. He's good. He's had a few bad injuries though, but he's still come back. And do you know what? He's a proper humble lad, but perceptions are different. He's from Derby. He's a local lad, and his dad's a really nice guy, and he's a really nice family man. But he likes fashion, and he likes designer clothes, and he likes looking the part, and he likes his hair being nice, and there's nothing wrong with that. Or people
you need to hook him up with some accessories, Stephen.
Nah, you have to pay for him. I've got a business partner. She doesn't let me give anything away. She was like big in business, so I'm learning from her. But he'll come out. He'll have to buy it from the website.
Link in bio if you're watching, Giles.
Yeah, Barnesy. You can afford a cap, mate. He'll look good on you as well.
No, brilliant. So. Right, well, fast forward then to your time with Burton, and then you linked up with your old manager Nigel Clough. How did that come about with linking up with Nigel? Is it like you said earlier about him recommending and sort of joining back up because you knew how hard you worked previously?
I came back from India, and I went to train at Barnsley. I did a few weeks at Barnsley just to tick over and just to do some training. And then Robbie Savage rang me because he's a mate of mine. He said, "Oh, the gaffer Nigel Clough's rang me. See what you're doing now. Now you're back from India." And I went, "Oh, I'm available. I'm just training and keeping fit." And he said, "Oh, he wants you to come and train at Burton." So I just went there. I got on with Nigel Clough because he's a good man manager.
Yeah,
he's a man manager, and you know what? He gets the best out of the club from having nothing or having very little. Do you know what I mean? Or he's very economical. That's a good word. He's economical with his findings, and then he makes people think about who he's signing and why he's signing, and then once he actually signs and plays them for a year, they know why.
Yeah,
he gets he squeezes the real everything out of a club. And when he came to Derby, I got on with him, and he's probably one of them where he had to get rid of me to get his new players in. Yeah. And I was quite happy with that because I knew it was business, and I don't take anything personally. If he wanted me to go, if any club wanted me to go, I would go. But then he realised how what I could do for him as a job on a pitch. He knows I was always super fit, and he knows my attitude was a team player.
They're all key things.
And I was on a free because I'd gone back from India, so it's a no-brainer.
Mark O'Brien said he were a top bloke as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a man manager.
Yeah,
man manager. He treats you. He's got a son, so he treats you like, if you need a day off to go to a funeral, no problems. Or if you day off here, no problems. If you've got issues, he'll understand. he'll help. He'll try and help you. So you know.
I know when Mark O'Brien, when he obviously sadly had to retire so young.
I know what a nice guy he is, by the way.
Top bloke. And one of the first calls he got after he retired, despite not playing for Nigel Clough for 7 or 8 years. Nigel Clough rang him up, if you need anything, let me know.
Yeah, he does.
That says a lot.
Yeah, I've just been to Mansfield because I watched an under-18s game because I've been helping out at Burton, and the manager was there, and I spoke to him, and he was enjoying it at Mansfield. Yeah. He's enjoying it, but he was always saying, if I can do anything, help you out, and no problems, he will.
He seems a really nice guy from what you and Mark said, and I think he gets quite a bit of unfair criticism because he's done a really good job at a lot of clubs. He's you don't get.
You know what he doesn't get? He doesn't get the opportunities that he should get,
which is strange because you don't get to manage Sheffield United and Derby County, massive clubs like that, if you're no good. And for some reason, he doesn't seem to get any chances now, which is.
Doesn't get the opportunity. You see people go on the merry-go-round of the managers getting jobs when they've not been successful.
Yeah. Strange.
Look at Phil Neville. Where's he gone?
Well, I wonder why Phil Neville got that job.
Yeah.
Well, it's his friend, isn't it? But it's his friend. But that's fine. But what's he done as a manager?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest things in football, as we all know, is nepotism. Though certainly when it comes to on the managerial, it's always like a bandwagon, isn't it? I mean.
It's not necessarily results. It's not necessarily results orientated, is it?
No, definitely not.
Right. If it's all right, Stephen, we've got a 5-question quiz about all of your career. If that's
go on, then.
Right. Go on, Josh. I'll let you.
So we do this with everyone. It's called the Tommy Lee Pro 5 quiz because Tommy was the first to get 5 out of 5, so he got this right. So he set a high bar for goalkeepers.
Jesus, go on.
Just 5 questions all about your career. So,
wow.
24 Premier League appearances split between West Ham and Derby. Who did you make the most Premier League appearances for?
Derby.
Yes, 18 for Derby, 6 for West Ham. Number 2, you received 2 red cards in your career. Who were they against?
I was playing for West Ham against Millwall.
Yeah.
And I was playing for Derby against Ipswich.
Correct. So first off, the Millwall one. I mean, that's a fiery game.
I know it was a cup game, and I took. There was a riot after. I literally, the horses were on the pitch. As soon as I came out and I took Neil Harris out. I literally took him out. It was a tackle. It was a 50-50, and I was like, I was 75% there already, and it wasn't a 50-50. So I took him out, and then. Yeah, I got sent off, and there was like people on the pitch. Honestly, the horses were on the pitch and stuff. You know, the police horses.
Yeah. Oh, was that the game where didn't a bloke get stabbed? Was that game?
No, I don't think
that was that were a League Cup game.
Was it? Yeah. It's a nasty game, that one, isn't it? For sure.
But we lost, and then Neil Harris was actually at Millwall when I signed there, and I got on really well. He actually helped me with my coaching badges, so he's a great guy. But yeah. And then he recovered all right.
the Ipswich one, I watched that on YouTube earlier. A clash with Alex Bruce that looked nothing more than handbags, really.
Nah, do you know what? He kicked me on the corner. Before the corner, he literally came up to me and booted me in the ankle. So I said, I'm not having that, ref. And ref didn't see it, and I said, I don't know. Just said I didn't agree with it, and he sent me off as well. And that was it. I said, I couldn't believe. I just said to Alex, "What are you doing, kicking me? What are you doing?" I didn't touch, and walked off. Untrue. Yeah.
It looked a harsh red.
Because nobody saw me. Nobody saw him boot me. He just literally ran up and just booted me before it. Nobody could see it.
No. Strange. Number 3, you kept well over 100 clean sheets in your career. For which club did you keep the most clean sheets?
It's got to be Derby County, hasn't
it? It is Derby County. 45 for Derby County, 21 West Ham, 15 for Wednesday and 14 for Burton.
I always think you don't get anything for a clean sheet. I'd rather win.
Yeah, that's true. But it must be nice looking back and thinking.
No, I'm not. No, I was never. I'd rather win 10-9. Yeah, honestly, clean sheet for me. It's a nice statistic for a goalie, but I'd rather win the game rather than a draw. That's me.
Prefer the 5-4 to a cheeky 1-0.
all day long. I'd rather have the worst game ever, get subbed and lose and win than you know what I mean? That's me.
No, definitely.
That's brilliant. Okay, so number 4, you're 3 from 3 so far. Which teammate did you make the most appearances alongside? I've got a choice of 3. Gary Teal, Stephen Pearson, or Robbie Savage. And it's very close.
Well, Gary Teal and Stephen Pearson came at the same time. Robbie Savage because I played with him under Nigel Clough as well.
It was Gary Teal was 87, Robbie Savage 88, Stephen Pearson was 90 appearances.
Oh, that do you know what? That semi-final, that final has just cost me a point.
Yeah, he got the winner, so we let him.
4 out of 5, I'm gutted. Could be 3 out of 5.
Right, so number 5, we've already mentioned your West Ham debut in that game against Bradford. Who did your Derby debut come against?
Hull.
It was Hull City, 2-1 win. August
Away.
12th. So I was looking into this. Was that the day that you signed as well? Certainly the same day it was announced.
I signed the night before, late the night before, and then the paperwork went through 12 o'clock on just literally before that last day.
Well, that's great for fans, though. We've signed a new keeper and he's playing now.
I know, yeah. It was great. It was great for me. I was like, I've travelled all this way. Will the paperwork go through? And it will. So hopefully, and it did. So I was lucky.
Amazing. That's it, Stephen. Thank you so much for giving us your time. And
that's all right.
It's so amazing to hear a footballer who's clearly so passionate about the game.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Class.
I want to be honest. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to mess anyone. I just want to be honest and tell you what I feel and what goes on.
Yeah, we've absolutely loved it, mate. I hope you've.
Good. Thank you. No, thank you very much for asking me as well.
Brilliant.
I really appreciate it, mate.
Brilliant.
Stay safe.